Football League, which admitted yesterday, it's kind of wild, that Des Bryant's infamous non-catch in the playoffs should have been ruled complete, and saying that they will consider simplifying the controversial catch rule this offseason. That's not the only change up for debate. The league will also look into limiting pass interference penalties to 15 yards. Boy, is that long overdue. College got that right years ago. Whitlock, which change would have a bigger impact, the catch rule or PI?
Pass interference is the rule they need to address. I've never found the catch rule complicated. I've never found it controversial. Pass interference is what drives me crazy. It's way too punitive. It's way too ticky-tack. And, you know, giving people – it's been moving. We have some stats here. In 2007, pass interferences plus 20, there were 54. This past season, there were 99.
It is punitive.
It's just happening too often, too big of an impact on the game.
Well, you are a former football player, so you are in a 3% knowledge base. You're an intense, knowledgeable football fan. For football fans, I agree with you.
Good point.
The catch rule for the guy at the bar, okay, who's drinking a Budweiser, that ticks him off because that's offense, that affects his fantasy team, that affects commerce. Football people, I've been on this for years. College football got pass interference right. NFL's been sitting there for 30 years screwing it up. The catch, I think, hurt ratings to a small degree. It can never confuse the consumer. When you go to a grocery store, I don't want don't make me guess where the bread is and the eggs are. Like, don't make a confusing grocery store. NFL last couple of years, I don't know what to catch. They talk about the process, surviving the ground. I don't even know what that stuff means. This rule, PI's for football guys. The catch is for the masses. They didn't get it.
It's a good point.
What's more important? That's a tough question. They have to be consistent. Whatever they're going to – if it looks like a catch, it's a catch. And to me, that's just obvious. The pass interference call, that's so subjective because if I'm a DB and I'm beat, I'm going to just tackle you if I know I got 15 yards.
They don't do that in college.
They're not smart enough to realize that. When the guys in the league, you get beat, I'm going to just tackle you. 15 yards, live to play another down. The catch rule has cost the Cowboys a playoff victory against Green Bay. Obvious. The catch rule this year cost Pittsburgh home field advantage against New England, possibly a trip to the Super Bowl. So for me, it's just make it consistent. Whatever you're going to go with, roll with it, and be very consistent with it.
First of all, everything that we talk about is always helping the offense. How can we stop the offense? How can we stop this? This is one of the worst things that I've said in football for a long time. If I'm on defense, I got my 11, and I beat you man to man. I beat you man to man. You draw up your call, I draw up my call. And we dominate you. But you can just throw back and just throw up a pass. Like last year's Jacksonville game against the New England Patriots. If you're a quarterback like Tom Brady, you're saying, I'm going to get this every time. And the most embarrassing rule, 2009, 2011, we went to New England. And I kept saying over and over, it's embarrassing that y'all let them get away with that. 15 yards, that's the only thing. You cannot spot foul that.
Yeah.
To spot foul that.
A 60-yard penalty.
That's a 60. And I'm telling you,
don't PI them 60 yards on the field, and it won't be a spot foul.
That is so not. That is so not what you should be talking about.
Yeah.
Seriously, what? There's no way you can defend it.
Yeah, you can.
TJ,
don't PI them. That's how you defend it.
You can't.
It's so ticky-tack.
It is, man.
Ain't no incidental contact. They too ticky-tack, TJ.
You look at that pass on Boyer last year.
That was pass interference.
It wasn't even catchable. The ball was out of bounds.
It was PI. It was not catchable. I will agree with that. It wasn't.
That's not a PI.
Now, that's the referee's fault. That's the official's fault. They have to get some type of consistency in how they call it and what they're calling.
Pass interference it's a sophisticated, debatable play. The catch should be really easy. Listen, PI is always going to be tough. It's a jump ball in basketball. It's the hardest play to officiate. When we're struggling with you have ball security 2 feet down and you're telling me it's not a catch.
Here's my issue, though, Colin. There's 3 of those plays a year.
What plays? The catch.
Catch or no catch. A year.
True.
Three of those plays a year that are controversial. Damn near every game I turn on, there's a controversial pass interference call. Every game. Again, consistency would help. but also the punitive nature of it, man, moving a guy down 25, 30 yards downfield on some bogus stuff.
Wait, listen to me. Okay. If you're catching a football, catch the football. If you're making a tackle, there's no such thing as a half tackle. There's no such thing as a half tackle. If something is in your hand and I knock it out, there's no such thing as a half fumble. If I knock that out of your hand without you liking it, that's a doggone fumble. We can go all the way back to the tuck rule with Brady. I mean, guys, I'm just saying from a defensive perspective, how we are catering so much to offenses. If I do something against your will, that's called a turnover. It'll never change in all of sports. But now we've said, oh, the ball looked like it was wobbling. Oh, his hand looked like it was coming forward. If it's against your will, we win as defense. Once again, with the pass interference.
And people want to see points scored, man. They don't want to see no 6-3
points
6-3 game.
Why do you don't want to see a 6-3 game?
That's boring.
People want to see great competition.
Absolutely.
Right.
They want to see great competition. Y'all have made it into, because of fantasy football, people want to see scoring.
Of course.
But people want to see great competition. And, Ray, if I understand your point, you think you don't have a real problem with the catch rule. If you knock the ball out of the guy's hand in any kind of way on his way to the ground, you stick with that.
Absolutely.
But you also think the pass interference thing should be limited to
15 yards.
The problem with pass interference is you can actually defend it well and trip a guy.
Yes.
The problem is there's a component of luck. Pass interference. You could literally cover the wheel route perfectly as a linebacker, and your legs get tangled up, and it costs you 42 yards.
What happens when a guy is beat for a touchdown and guys just start tackling guys?
It doesn't happen.
It will happen.
It doesn't happen in college football.
Because they're not smart enough.
Yeah, they are.
If they change
college football. He played.
I wasn't smart enough when I was in college.
We were smart enough.
If they change this rule, guys will intentionally tackle you. Why wouldn't you? They should
It'll be a penalty. It'll be a penalty, 15 yards.
Yeah.
You'll get bonuses for it.
But you could possibly have a touchdown.
Guys, you know what, Hughes? Y'all need to cut this mess.
Catch the ball, man. All right, welcome back. Ray Lewis and Steven Jackson are back. Let's move to the NBA, where Kevin Durant was asked in a new interview about the ongoing NCAA corruption scandal and raised an interesting point about something that happens on the NBA level that he thinks is contributing to the problem.
They got to stop publicizing how much money we make as NBA players, because it's driving these parents,
it's driving
these
everybody
kids
crazy.
Good point. Crazy. So now they're saying, oh, such and such just made $200 million on a 5-year deal. What you think these parents now talking about? They're not even worrying about the game no more. It's like, oh, yeah, you need to go make that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, I didn't know what none of these dudes was making.
Cowheard, you agree with KD?
No, it's too idealistic. I mean, people are going to talk about salaries. You know what? It's about parenting. I tell my kids all the time, don't chase money, chase passion. If a kid's freaking out and talking about money, then you sit down with mom and dad, and that everybody wants to have kids. How about parent them? How about talk to them? How about communicate with them? How about teach them?
It's harder some places and some zip codes than others.
Well, it may be.
Much harder. Much harder.
But I mean, his belief system here is very idealistic. Nobody talk money. You don't think that's going to get out?
Let me tell you where he's wrong, again, because he didn't know what guys were making. That's bull. I remember when Magic Johnson, 25 years, $25 million.
Of course.
I remember that as a kid. We've been knowing the salaries of athletes for a long time. What has happened, though, is the numbers have gotten so astronomical, and it does create problems for athletes in terms of the phone calls from cousins, high school classmates, aunties and uncles, and everything start coming, and it is a headache. Again, there's nothing that can be done about it, as you said, but he does have a point. This does create major complications for the athletes, and his point is that a lot of people aren't focused on the game anymore. They're focused on what the game can do for them and how much money they can make.
Is it possible that money motivates people?
I agree, and that's what the only change I would make here, where I kind of agree with him, is I wish that in all these leagues, baseball, football, everything, that there was some part of the money attached to actually wins and losses, that you made some part of your money based off winning and losing.
Well, money motivates me. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Jack,
yeah.
it motivate Jack.
Money motivates me.
So when you knew how much NBA guys made, when you work harder.
But that's not the problem. The problem is the parents see these big contracts and see these players are not that good. So my son doesn't have to be that good to make $200 million now. That's the problem. You paying these players all this money and they're not producing. So when the parents sit back and look at, okay, even if my son's not that good, his chances are great now because they paying Chandler Parsons $100 million and he's averaging 6 points. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the bigger problem. It's not them publicizing how much they make.
It's paying average players a ton.
Exactly.
You know what?
But everybody don't want to say that.
Right. Jack, I love you to death, man. I'm glad I'm on here with you, Jack. That Jack,
Appreciate it, my brother.
Yes. No, I tell you this. When you think about, and I've been looking at this from a different perspective for a long time. So it's interesting. The only reason I don't agree with KD, I agree with him where he's going with it, but there's another side of it that I don't think athletes ever think about. And this is, for me, that's why I'm in the businesses that I'm in. Because players' money stopped attracting me a long time ago. I never worried about a man's check. Man make a lot of money, that's great. But I'm not excited about the man who makes a lot of money. I'm excited about the man who's able to pay him that type of money.
Right.
See, that's one thing about players that I think we find ourselves in a very interesting spot when the game is over. Yeah, you were that guy who done that. So then go capitalize off of that. But don't just remain a player. Go figure out how to become an owner. Right? And that's where I think when you start to think about what these neighborhood kids, what KD is talking about, what these neighborhood kids are seeing, they're seeing these numbers. Oh my gosh, 200 million. You know, this Boyville Houston, he makes 225 million. And I'm saying to myself, well, suppose you ever thought about if you was not athletic enough, possibly being the person who pays the 220 million. But we don't dream that far because they mesmerize us with player contracts. It's all a trickery of the game to say the only thing you'll ever do is strive to be great enough to make an NFL or NBA contract. But how many of us try enough to be great to say one day I own what you own? That's kind of what I think, guys.
Yeah, because like take Mark Cuban. He didn't own the Mavericks because of his great playing career.
100%.
Right. He invented something.
So guess what he said? He flipped it. He flipped it. He said my athletic ability won't get me what I want. Yep. So I'll flip it and go own a team.
I do think, you know, money is not an evil thing, though. I think money is often opportunity. I think sometimes, forget just the figure of money. Money is opportunity. Money gets you your mother a house. It gets you transportation. I think publicizing the salaries kind of lets people know, listen, man, I work hard. There are gold bricks at the end. I mean, listen, when I got into my career, I'll never forget this. So you're a newspaper guy. So I'm a young kid. I'm like 18 years old, 19 years old. And I go visit the local newspaper because I want to be a sports writer. And I drive into the parking lot with my old beater car. And it's just a bunch of beater cars. And then I go to the local TV affiliate. And I see a cabriolet and a BMW. And I'm like, I want to be in TV and radio, not a newspaper. So it wasn't about a dollar figure. It was, man, the TV station was opportunity. Somebody there made money. Newspaper parking lot was old VW bugs, and it was cars that didn't look. So
those of us that believed in America were over.
But I think sometimes when you know the money, it's like, listen, that guy's 6'3", I'm 6'3". He loves hoop. He's from my hometown.
Yeah.
He played on the AAU team I did. It's a caveat. It's out there. You're chasing that thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's money. I think it's a love of it.
Well, issues of family and money are hardly limited to the NBA. Lamar Jackson arrived at the NFL Combine today, where reportedly he's opted to forego agency representation, instead choosing to be represented by his own mom. Whitlock, I don't think you like this. You think he's going to regret this decision?
Yeah, I think that this is an indication that, he's too close to his mom and not making... Yeah, you can be too close. Again,
I can't never be too close to my mom.
You can be...
I hit you with the Scooby-Doo.
You can be too close to your mom and not step up as a full-grown man and take control of your situation. It happens all the time. It's an issue in our community because a lot of guys grow up without dads, and they're so dependent on their mom. he needs better advice.
Hey, one of the criticisms of Alonzo Ball was like his dad always did the talking for him. I mean, there is something. Now, if Lonzo had been in the league 10 years, we wouldn't say that.